Welcome to today's episode of the Canadian Mortgage Weekly. We have a special midweek announcement for you guys on episode 46 today. And we're joined this morning with Joe Bladdock. Joe, how are you doing this morning?
Hey, Sam, great to see you. And yes, we have an exciting announcement, and I'm really pumped about it today. I really love getting together with you, Sam, for these announcements. They happen 8 times a year, and every time we do it, it seems like it's an exciting announcement to do because there's a lot of news about it. So looking forward to doing that today. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Again, the same. I love these videos because, as you're saying, the rate announcement is what we're covering today, and it happens 8 times a year. But there's a lot of factors that can go into, whether it's going to stay the same. We've seen some crazy forecasts, not just for rates, but for the housing market in general. And it's been definitely an entertaining season for sure to see, where it actually falls, what we're looking like. So yeah, I'm really excited uh, to review today's announcement that just released, 27 minutes ago, roughly.
That's right. Yes, about 27 minutes ago. Yes. So every time the Bank of Canada does do a rate announcement, it does come around 10 a.m. So let's just launch right into it, shall we?
Mhm.
But before we get into that, I did want to take a moment and just talk about how, what happens if rates change and who that affects. So
Mhm.
before we get into that announcement, if rates do change, those with variable rate mortgages will be affected. Home equity lines of credit, those
Mhm.
lines of credit that are secured against your home, as well as variable rate car loans, unsecured lines of credit, and variable rate credit cards will be affected. And
Mhm.
as you know, Sam, there's certain things that happen to those folks who have those accounts.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, today's an exciting announcement because I believe that we had chatted a little bit about it in one of our previous videos where, we were seeing that the rate of people getting variable rate mortgages had, started
Hmm.
to increase because we're seeing the fixed rate rise. People are seeing that, I think almost everyone this year so far, the rate stayed the same. So they're getting a bit confident about the variable rate. So I feel like there's actually going to be, quite a substantial amount of people that are interested to see, if this rate change happens, what's going to happen with, my mortgage, car loan, line of credit, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. And you're right. There has been a lot of more variable rate mortgages. We've certainly seen it here,
Mhm.
processing them on our end. The rates are extremely low. And when the rates are this
Yeah.
low compared to a fixed rate mortgage, the risk is worth it because even a increase of a quarter point or a half point, that still maintains a rate that's lower than the fixed rate currently, which is really good. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, and we've seen all the articles, like you're saying, a lot of hype coming up to this day about how what's going to happen with variable rate mortgages and the employment numbers coming out. So
Mhm.
and the inflation numbers coming out. But if rates did change today, what would happen is if you have a mortgage with a variable
Mhm.
rate, typically what would happen is your payment would increase or decrease accordingly to the rate
Yeah.
change. But there's another option, right, Sam? There's other lenders that keep the payment fixed, but the amortization or the length of your loan changes, increases or
Mhm.
decreases accordingly.
Yeah.
Yeah. But without further ado, I do want to get off to the topic here. So let's see what the rate announcement is. Sam, would you do the honors today?
I will do the honors. So it was released that the Bank of Canada has held its target for the overnight rate, meaning there is no change in the variable rate. It's the same song and dance that we've been seeing for the last, six announcements this year.
Wow, that is really interesting because, fixed rates have been going up these
Yeah.
last few weeks. We've seen an increase of about 30 to 40 basis points just on the fixed rate side. So the fact that variable rates are going to remain the same,
Mhm.
wonderful news for all variable rate mortgage holders, line of credit holders. No worries there.
Yeah.
But yes, looking at some comments here, they've also released some comments about what's happening in the market.
Mhm.
It looks like Canada's really excited and bullish on the growth for us as a country, stating that we are expected to grow 6.5% for our GDP in 2021. That is
Mhm.
just a massive growth compared to the last number of years, isn't it, Sam?
That is, yeah. We were looking earlier today at, for the past almost 10 years, and I think you were saying that the highest one for the past 10 years was only about 3.5%. So yeah, that it's expected to grow to 6.5 is quite a change.
Yeah, it was a
Hmm.
3.1% in
Right.
2010. So exactly, yeah. So the fact that this will be a much higher growth year
Mhm.
than these previous 10 years, it's going to be interesting to see how the economy handles that. And Canada is also projecting a growth of 4.25% next year in 2022, which is still higher than the past 10 years worth of growth.
Yeah, that's right. We start to see it, very, very gradually decline, even going to, 3.5 in 2023.
Hmm.
So we know we do see it start to decrease, but it is quite gradual. Again, when we were looking at, some of the past years, it's seems to be floating between the 1 to 3%. So the fact that it's still a very soft and gradual change year over year is interesting to know.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm sure that all of you who are watching today are interested in this content. And if you have any suggestions for Sam and I for Canadian Mortgage Weekly Live, we'd love to hear what you have to say. Comment, share, like our videos, and we would love to hear from you. But before we end it off today, I did want to take a moment and introduce Sam Thompson. He is a mortgage agent. Originally from Ottawa, Ontario, moved to Barrie about a year and 3 quarters now ago, and has been living in Barrie since then, working as a mortgage agent, part of the Mega Mortgage team. Sam, welcome. How are you today? How are you feeling about this rate announcement?
Yeah, thanks for the introduction. And yeah, it's definitely really exciting again. I mean, now especially that we're seeing fixed rates are increasing and the variable rates low, it'll be interesting, moving forward to see if, we see that margin, keep growing and
That's
keep
right.
growing. So yeah, I'm pretty excited, for what this holds. And, the next announcement's going to be in December, I believe. I think it's December 8th this year, so that we'll see over the next few months if that changes. Yeah, and it's again always good to be on with you, Joe. For anybody who doesn't know Joe, Joe is a mortgage broker in the Barrie Simcoe area. You've been living up in Aurelia with your family and in the mortgage industry for over 10 years. So I'm sure there are little things that can shock you at this point. So you always bring really good insight to all these videos. So thanks for having me this morning, Joe.
Thank you very much, Sam. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction as well. And yes, great to be able to get this news out to you all today on Canadian Mortgage Weekly Live. Join Sam and I tomorrow at 11:30, our normal time on Thursday mornings for our regularly scheduled time, episode number 47, and we'll see you then.